Back in 2015, Geralt didn't just arrive, he rewired expectations. Massive stopped being the finish line and became the starting point. Players started asking for worlds with a pulse, side content with teeth, choices that don't feel like coin flips. That shift didn't erase what came before, it just made the shortcuts painfully visible. Witcher 3 didn't kill a studio, it killed complacency. It raised the bar for the whole genre, Bethesda included. Not out of spite, because players proved they'd show up for worlds that respect their time and their brain. So let's unpack what changed, why some design choices aged overnight, and what needs to evolve if the next decade of RPGs is going to sing. Side content first. Before Witcher 3, we tolerated chores with fancy lighting. Kill 10 wolves, fetch 6 mushrooms, smile politely at the villager who forgot their own backyard. After Witcher 3, side quests started getting compared to short novels. Bloody Baron wasn't a distraction, it was a decision you had to wear. No gold star ending, just messy, human fallout. Once you feel that weight, fetch quest filler tastes like cardboard. You can't unknow a better standard. Then the conversation problem. Fallout 4's 4-option wheel looks sleek, but it turned intent into guesswork. Yes, sarcasm. No, maybe later. Cute, until all roads lead to the same delivery. Players modded their way back to clarity. Full text, explicit intent, because agency only works when you can trust your choices. Witcher 3 didn't drown you in options, it made the ones you had matter. That's the difference between pushing buttons and making decisions.
Might be worth a shot.
Here's one that sticks out for me. There's a questline during the Hearts of Stone expansion called Borrowed Life that has Geralt attend a wedding in someone else's life. Charming, reckless, saying things Geralt never would. It plays like a prank until sunrise, when you realize those laughs belong to people who needed them. If comfort comes from a lie, is it still kindness? That's when these quests started asking who I wanted to be. They stick around.
Damn mucky that pond. Sank in up to my armpits.
Cities told the same story. Novigrad didn't wait for you. It breathed, gossiped, sang, argued, sometimes threatened to stab you in an alley. The crowd noise wasn't just pretty. It hinted at lives unfolding whether you were there or not. That's why people call Witcher hubs alive rather than just large. Compare that to any hub that looks amazing in screenshots, but deflates the second the NPCs loop like mannequins. Modern players feel that difference instantly. Author density versus postcard pretty emptiness. Add in loading gates, stiff greetings, stop-start pacing. Immersion snaps when the world feels like a set that forgot its extras. Here's the sneaky Witcher trick. Cinematic feel without strangling itself with cutscenes. The win wasn't raw hours of cinematics, it was conversation systems that scale. Characters glance, shift, fidget, react just enough, and your brain fills in the rest. You get the emotion of film without wearing handcuffs. That's the homework for modern open worlds. Don't chase a bigger camera, build better conversation design. Clear intent, readable emotion, sensible timing. Let the scene breathe while the player stays in charge. Support and optics matter too. People don't weekend these games, they move in, they redecorate. When updates elevate the experience, performance boosts, visual passes, smart accessibility tweaks, players cheer. When an update trips over the very mod ecosystem that keeps your game alive even briefly, the perception damage outlives the hotfix. Fair or not, that's part of the conversation now. Are you adding oxygen to the flame, or briefly smothering it and asking the community to relight the match? Let's give credit where it's overdue. Nobody does, I meant to do one quest and it's 3 a.m. like Bethesda. Their secret isn't just map size, it's a toy box stuffed and stacked in surprising ways. Sneak, steal, shout, tinker, pickpocket, craft, persuade, explode, and a world that cheerfully says, yeah, that'll probably work. Bethesda's first strength is the wander loop. Sightlines pull you towards them. A fort on a ridge, smoke on the horizon, a cave mouth shaped like trouble. You pivot off the critical path because curiosity pays. Not with checklist crumbs, but with gear, lore, and weird little stories that feel like you discovered them, because you did. Second, systems that collide. AI routines, physics, stealth, elemental effects, crafting, all close enough to touch that chain reactions happen. You drop a distraction, an NPC wanders, a trap resets, a fight breaks out 2 rooms over and spills into your plan. It's messy in the best way. Third, environmental storytelling. Notes on a table, a skeleton in a bath clutching a potion, a toppled cart, 2 arrows, no survivors. These micro-vignettes don't need quest markers, they trust your brain to connect the dots, and that trust feels good. Fourth, a dedicated and passionate mod scene. Bethesda's worlds become platforms. UI overhauls, lighting passes, quest packs, whole cloth regions. Players don't just consume the game, they grow it. That's why their titles have half-lives measured in decades. You can't fake that with marketing. Finally, Bethesda excels in emergent identity, meaning your sneaky alchemist isn't the same as my loud idiot with a pocket full of cheese wheels and bad ideas. The builds, the encumbrance math, the dumb gambles that somehow work, Bethesda will often let you author a persona. All of that is gold. Keep it. What Bethesda needs now is to learn from its latest Starfield stumbles, make some changes that turn that great sandbox into a great story you can't put down. Let's quickly shift focus to another game in Baldur's Gate 3, as this shows how the bar keeps rising for modern RPGs. BG3 didn't just win awards, it proved there's a huge audience for games that treat player choice like the main mechanic, not a marketing bullet. It's consequence as content. Pick a lock, talk your way out, turn into a fog cloud, throw a shoe. BG3 smiles and says, "Sure, let's see where that goes." Players felt the difference immediately, not more freedom for its own sake, but freedom that pays off with unique scenes, companion reactions, and outcomes you can't fake on a second run. BG3 also reintroduced something a lot of modern RPGs quietly forgot: fail forward. You miss a roll and the story doesn't stall, it pivots. Failure becomes a plot branch instead of a reload screen. That one design philosophy turns anxiety into curiosity. You start asking, what happens if I mess up? On purpose. When the game celebrates your chaos, the playtime writes itself. And it's not just BG3 setting the appetite. Elden Ring reminded everyone that discovery is a feature, not a chore list. Fewer map markers, more "what's that on the horizon?" Tears of the Kingdom doubled down on systemic chemistry. Everything talks to everything, so your solution feels authored by you. The common thread across these hits is simple: respect the player's curiosity and let systems handshake in surprising ways. So where does that point the genre? Toward clarity and some chaos thrown in there. Clarity in what a choice means, chaos in how the world responds. Pair that with cities that live without you and conversation systems that scale past mannequins, and you've got the template for the next decade. Here's the harsh truth. Players don't quit because of one giant flaw. They quit because a dozen tiny annoyances add up. What keeps dragging you down is the proverbial pebble in your shoe. Reward is the view at the top. If the view's breathtaking, you'll ignore a pebble or two. If it's pebbles all the way down, even a great vista can't save you. Think about the micro issues that stack. A load door every 30 steps, NPCs who take 3 beats to answer simple questions, map icons that breed like rabbits, inventory Tetris, encumbrance penalties that trigger mid-fight, crafting UIs 4 tabs deep, unskippable pick-up item animations, dialogue wheels that hide your intent, quest markers that contradict the compass, pathfinding that gives up at a knee-high rock. None of these can kill a game alone. Together, death by 1,000 nudges. Now the micro-rewards that cancel them out. A beautiful vista that leads to discovery of a new dungeon. A companion one-liner that lands. A side room with a mini-story told in props. A meaningful perk ding right after a tough fight. A letter that proves your last decision changed something. A shortcut you kicked open that permanently trims backtracking. A rumor system that updates the world because of you. These are tiny, frequent yes moments. Stacked enough, and players forgive the occasional annoyance. The ratio is everything. Ask yourself, for every 10 seconds of drag, are you paying back at least 30 seconds of delight? If a hub has 5 load doors, it needs 5 reasons to make me smile before I reach the quest giver. Ambient events, overheard gossip, a pickup encounter, a vendor with a tempting oddity, a companion quip that changes if I arrive at night. If there's no fun payoff, then what's the point? You can also feel good friction. Climbing a treacherous cliff is effort, but the view and discoveries sell it. Decoding a lock pattern is effort, but the secret room full of loot is worth it. The bad kind is more administrative. Menus on menus, waiting on elevators, prompts for harmless actions, a stamina bar that tells you no more than the world tells you yes. If your game says no more than it says try, players go find a game that says try. Which tees up the obvious question. If this is the baseline now, what do the next Witcher and the next Elder Scrolls look like when they step into it? So did The Witcher 3 destroy Bethesda? No, at least not in my opinion. The casualty was complacency. Witcher 3 turned open world from flex to fundamentals. It proved that side content can bruise, cities can live when you're not looking, and conversations should show intent before you commit. Once players felt that, the old shortcuts stopped feeling charming and started feeling dated. Bethesda isn't a villain in this story. It's the studio with the map of secret paths. No one matches their wander and stumble magic, their systems crashing into each other to make engaging, memorable stories. They're mod scenes that turn games into platforms. They need to keep that toy box stacked with what they do best, but sharpen the pen and take some cues from CDPR. Trade old, tired errands for story arcs that ripple back hours later. Let hubs evolve because you were there. Reduce the pebbles in the shoe so momentum outruns the jank. The new way forward is somewhat simple. Clarity and velocity in consequence. Clarity so choices read honestly. Velocity so you hit the next interesting beat fast. Consequence so your decisions echo beyond the quest turn-in. Fold that into Bethesda's sandbox DNA and you don't just keep up with Witcher 3 and BG3, you have the ability to set the next bar. If that happens, the headline 10 years from now won't be who killed who. It'll be who built the worlds we couldn't stop talking about. My bet? The studios that mix world intensity with freedom, ship love letter updates, and remember that scale is staging, not the whole show. So now it's your turn. What do you think Bethesda needs to do to stay relevant and compete against the industry's current greats? Drop your comments below. I'll see you in the next one.